In a previous video, I showed you I bought this CFMOTO for $350. And as you can see, I got it all torn apart. And in the last video, we took the engine apart. And turns out it's blown up. So it's not a whole bunch, but that crank, the rod goes up and down. So I should have pressure washed this all before I took it apart, but I guess we were hoping for an easy fix. Now I ordered the engine rebuild kit off eBay, and I think it comes straight from CFMOTO because I've been messaging back and forth with these people, and they're really attentive, which is not very common on eBay. And I don't know, they said they were working directly with CFMOTO factory. I don't know. But I was pretty surprised about that. But there is one issue, and that's why we have to tear it down now before the parts come in. Usually I like to have as many parts on hand as possible, just in case if I can get it all done in one swift movement. I mean, that's never really the case, but at least I like to try, right? But anyways, today in this video, we have to tear the engine down because we need to figure out if this is A crank or B crank. Now, inside there on the cases, there are some numbers, and I'll put the picture up here. And, you know, they have a number on them, and then they say B at the end. I sent that to the lady or person on eBay, and they said I have an A crank, but my cases say B, so I think I got a B crank. So I said, well, let me just tear it down first, and we'll see what the hell the problem is. So anyways, I'm going to pressure wash this thing up, and then we need to work on getting this engine out. All right, so I got the thing pressure washed, brought it in, and I was working on it on the ground. I guess I forgot I had this lift because the damn YFZs basically lived on this lift for a long time. But anyways, I got a bunch of parts off. I will say the fender well here, footwell, was a little difficult to get out, but anyways, I did unhook the starter wire, the shift linkage here, and we have some more connectors to unhook. There's a bolt right there, and then there's this crazy mount right here, and we probably got to unhook it at the front right there too. And then let's see what else. Then we got this front drive shaft. It looks like 4 Allen bolts in the front. And then that one should, you can see it collapses right there in the middle. So it should just, actually there's also, I think 4 Allens on the engine. So that should come off pretty easy. Now the back, I don't know. It's got 4 Allens, but I don't know if it pushes into the engine at all or, I don't know. So that should be a little interesting. I guess I'm just going to set up on time lapse while I unhook all the wires. All right, I got, I think, all the wiring unhooked. So now we need to unhook this CVT snorkel. And then there's another one in the back. Yeah, and so it should pop off, I think. See the little, it's just a rubber grommet that holds it on this side over here. There we go. Probably just gonna have to loosen this other one up top here if we can't get this one just to move out of the way. Oh, there we go. Yeah. That should work. I think removing this rear drive shaft is gonna be the difficult one. I don't know. I guess we'll find out together, right? Does look like an 8mm. Yep. We might have to take the damn I, 'cause, 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 ' Huh. Maybe I need to put the transmission in park. I'm not gonna be able to get my big bad impact in there, I don't think. It does have park. Let's see. All right, that's park right there. All right, now that we're in park. That ain't good. That ain't good at all. That is not good. I guess what I need to do is probably get some heat in there. All right, a little heat is what we needed, but I don't even think this is the one I was doing before. I think the other one was on top. Okay, I was able to get the battery out, or not the battery. What's wrong with this guy? I was able to get the bolts out for the drive shaft here. And I don't know. Oh, look at this. So, doesn't look like there's enough deflection. But I think we'd either have to remove the rear differential or at least unbolt it to slide it back. Or what I think is what we're going to do is unbolt the engine, because we should be able to get this one out. And then once we get that one out, we can unbolt the engine, slide the engine forward, and that rear drive shaft should pop out. This is where it would be nice to have a electric ratchet, and I used to have one. I used to have an Amazon special, and it worked really good for a long time, and then, I don't know, took a shit. So I guess we're doing it the old-fashioned way now. Back when they did it in the 1900s. Okay. All right, there's 4 more on this side on the drive shaft, but it's gonna be a pain in the ass to try and film, so I guess you'll have to trust that I do it. All right, I think I got it here. Already broke them loose. Oh, fuck. I thought I was recording. Well, anyways, I got the front drive shaft out, and now there's a bolt down here somewhere I gotta find. Is that it? I don't know. Camera work is not, this thing is not being easy to film at the moment, so I don't appreciate that. Okay, I did have to take the foot panel, footboard, footwell out over here, because to get to these other bolts, oh, that's what you gotta do. They have these little 5mm Allens for whatever reason. And that one's full of mud. Yeah, it's got mud inside it. If you don't get that out, that's how you strip them out, if we didn't already. Nice! Now there's another one up front here, but it's kind of a pain in the ass to get to. So the one up front, let's see. Yeah, that's the one up front there. But you get all this brake stuff in the way, so. Now we don't particularly have to get this mount off, I don't think. And I'm gonna try this. This is like a ball-ended Allen. It's not my favorite to use on the impact, but hey, there's a time and a place. Yep, we got it, no problem. Beautiful. Now, this side, looks like you can get in there, but it looks like I might want to do the other side on the front. Kind of the opposite way. I want to do the wrench on this side because there is a little inspection hole right here. you can see behind here there is a little hole to get through, but I don't want to unhook this brake if I don't have to, so. Woo! It's gonna be a big girl. Now I just gotta try and slide it out, slide it front, so we can get the rear drive shaft out of the engine, or I don't know. Yeah, that's probably what we need to do. There we go. Now, I need to get me a pry bar. I wonder if it comes out with unbolting these 4 bolts back here. It's like my lift, my little motocross dirt bike lift stand. It's the perfect height. See, when I try and pull on this, and it ain't coming out, which it could be those 4 bolts. I just don't want to do that in case I don't have to. I think I might be able to get the damn engine out without doing that. Taking it out, that is. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna put the top end on until after I get the engine in the frame. This thing is heavy. There's no good way to hold on to this damn thing. I wish that damn drive shaft would come out. Oh. All right, it's coming. Woo. Here comes the engine. Look at that. Look at it. Don't you dare fall off. I did it. I did it, damn it. Look at that. Now, probably also should have taken all the clutching stuff off, and that would have lightened it up. I honestly didn't think about that, and I might not even have the puller for all this. But we need to get this thing open because we need to figure out if I have an A crankshaft or a B crankshaft. And we can, once we know that, we can order the parts or tell them to send them, tell them to send us the right one. And I can also have time to order our crank puller, clutch puller if we need one. All right, you can see here I have the engine on my table. I got this table, a stainless table off Amazon, and it is definitely not as heavy duty as I was thinking it was gonna be, even though, I don't know, it's under 200 bucks. But that's just me ranting. So we don't have this damn drive shaft going all around. Let's go ahead and take off this back tail shaft piece. 4 bolts right here. Yeah, I don't know. That piece ain't coming off. Guess we'll just leave it for now. Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and take the clutches off. I don't know anything about these clutches. I don't know nothing. I don't know if they're left-hand thread, right-hand thread. If they're good, if they're bad. Tell you what though, 18 millimeters, pretty common on the old CFMOTO though. Let's see. Yep, reverse thread. I mean, I don't even know what that does because we still got to take this off. Assume this is right hand, reverse threads. good assumption. Look at that. All kinds of craziness just popped out there. All right. That was not reverse threads. That was regular threads on the back there. CFMOTO discoveries. Damn. This doesn't exactly seem right. I don't know. Maybe it is. It's the craziest bearing I've ever seen, dude. It's got like, it's like a triple row, but the middle is missing this piece. I don't know. That is the craziest bearing I've ever seen. That you need a puller to go through here, and I don't have one, so I must order one. That is okay. We need to figure out what crank we got. So hopefully we can do that by just, you know, getting this side of the engine apart here. And looks like we just got a bunch of 8mm. So start zipping these off. Yeah, better play it safe and take these out for the water pump. Well, no, those don't do anything. I see some oil coming out the bottom, so it makes me think it's coming. Let's see here. Oh yeah. There's gotta be something holding us up here. There we go. Rubber O-ring gasket. So maybe let's take the oil pump, oil filter out. Maybe there's a screw behind it. It'd be kind of funny if it was. It's a big oil filter. No, no screws. The oil filter looks pretty good. Nothing crazy in the damn filter. I guess there's a little bit of metallic. Nothing super crazy though. Yeah, don't worry, we're not replacing the oil filter from the blown up engine. No, we are gonna replace it. I meant to say, we're not gonna reuse it. All right, why is this thing being such a pain in my butt? Here we go. Yep, like that. Oh God. This thing, it's got oil in it still. I guess I didn't drain it. Now we just found that out together. Ah, come on. The magnet on this thing is crazy. Come on, gasket. I don't want to have to buy another one. I don't have to. Beautiful. Look at that. Gasket came off perfectly. Okay. Now we... Alright, regular thread. Now, I got a puller. Alright, so I ordered this the other day off Amazon. And this is supposed to be the right one for this. So let's hope. My research told me it should be a 40 millimeter. And apparently it like fits like a Gixxer 1000, 2006 or something like that too. Like they put a little grease on stuff just to make everything, you know, not bind up. So far, so good. This puller fits on there. Now I guess we don't have to really worry about the crankshaft, but because we're replacing it, let's just hope this doesn't booger up the end of the crankshaft here. That would not be favored. This is 17. Yeah, that was kind of what I was worried about. I guess that's why there was a freaking collar of some sort on there. Urgh. Why do they do this? Why can't they just make it freaking normal, bro? Now I gotta freaking figure out how to get this thing out. I guess I just go backwards with it. What a stupid piece that is. What a stupid piece. See, if you didn't watch this video, you wouldn't know. And there is no other video on the internet. So that's why I didn't know. Now, which I still don't like, maybe we should put something up against it. Like a little like a quarter in there or something. Yeah, we can throw the bolt back in. Alright, hopefully we got better luck this time. Yeah. Fucking no wonder, right? Oh. And now no wonder the whole thing's not coming off because the bolt's on there still. Okay. We're just gonna put this on the bottom shelf. Got some sort of gear guy. I guess that's the starter gear. I assume we gotta take those. Actually, maybe not. I guess let's take the little snap rings out and see what happens. There we go. There's that gear. That looks like that turns the oil pump. So that gear turns the oil pump and I think the water pump. Pop this cover off up here. See if there's any behind here. I doubt it, but it's always good to be sure. I don't know if we need to pull that off. So now we have to look for case bolts. Alright, so luckily we do have some more bolts around here, but you can see this line right here. This is what we're splitting. We're not splitting this over here. But there are a couple bolts here that we do need to get to, so I'll have to use a swivel on those. I don't see any over here. We need to take that starter out probably a good idea. Alright, now is the moment of truth. We have our puller on here. I'm hoping I got all the damn bolts out. Should be. Now you don't want to use your impact on this. Would not be smart. Just 17. Now you should just be able to tighten this up and it should pop apart. Oh, psh. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh, life's never been easier. Okay, something's catching now. what's catching. We're literally freaking evenly, it popped evenly apart the whole way. So what is catching now? Is it this? I don't even think that needs to go through. I don't think that needs to go through. I don't think anything needs to go through. Here it comes. It's looking even. Not maybe not 100%. All right, something came apart in the transmission. But that's okay. I see what happened. But the big thing is we need to know, do we have crank A or crank B? All right, I was worried, but that is B, which is right here. I sent the lady or person, I'm just gonna call her lady, this right here, and she said she thought I had A, but my cases said B, and sure enough, we have crank B. So that is what I will let her know, and we will get some parts ordered. We got to get that puller ordered. I don't think we needed any other parts here. This looks a little, oh, that's crazy. This looks a little crazy. All right, so you can see here, I got the engine all apart, and I did take the rod apart here, and there's supposed to be a metal bearing in here, which, is there? I guess there is. No, there's not. I don't know. I don't think it's in there. I think it just got completely ate away, and you can see the crank right here is pretty bad. I was hoping that maybe I could get away with canceling my order and just install a new bearing here, but I don't think it's, I don't know. Doesn't look like it's there. Must be just ate away. And so anyways, we found out we have crank B, and you can see I've cleaned up my giant mess here, and then basically when the parts come in, we got to figure out how to get this thing back together. All right, so it's been, I don't know, probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks since I ordered the parts, and I ordered them, and then, you know, then they told me, oh, well, we need to know if you got crankshaft A or B. And then, you know, it took me some time to get this apart, and then I told them, and then they sent it, and then I just haven't had the time to dedicate to it. And really today I don't have that much to dedicate to it. But anyways, the parts have come in. I also got this clutch off with this little clutch puller tool. Here is the crankshaft. Here's the top end and gaskets. And let's see, rings. And then I went ahead and ordered another clutch because I didn't want to screw with this thing. I mean, with the, you know, with the daggone puller, it was like $170, I think. So I didn't really want to spend the money, but that one right here is broke off on the one we have. So apparently also you're not supposed to take this nut apart. So it just goes on there like that. Anyways, that'll make my life easier. So I got the clutch off, and then I was trying to pull the crank out, and then that's when I realized the timing chain is in here and it won't come out. Basically, we do have to split this belt box piece off, which I wasn't really wanting to do. I would have ordered new gaskets if I realized that, but we can still use Honda Bond. I'm sure we'll tear the gaskets, but I'm sure it'll be just fine. So looks like we got some 8mm bolts in here, and in here there's also this little washer in between this seal and that bearing right there, so we need to make sure we get that back in. Yeah, so we got to get this off, couple 8mm, and then this should pop off. We should be able to find our timing chain guide and our chain, and it should come apart. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll catch you when it's all apart. And it looks like we did not mess up the gaskets at all. Looks like it came off perfectly. So look, here's our timing chain. We need to probably push the crank back in to try and get it out. There we go. Looks like this plastic piece should slide out first like that, and then our timing chain will come off. It looks like the counterbalance and the crank have to come out at the same time. So our new crankshaft says B right there. The damn thing's got a freaking QR code on it. That's crazy. Just grease up the edge here a little bit. Now it should just slide right in. Come on. This doesn't help. This fucking case won't freaking stand up. There we go. Shove my damn hammer underneath it. Now another thing we gotta do is we also gotta freaking get this gear lined up right here. There was, let's see, where is it? There's a mark right here, that dot. I think there's either 1 or 2 dots on this one. Yeah, there's 1 dot. Let's get the crank in first. Okay. Now we can try and shimmy this guy in. Where's our mark? Yes, our mark is right there, and there's a mark right here, and those must be properly aligned. Nice and lined up. Now see, that says A, but this says B down here. I don't know. Let's check our old crankshaft. Let's get it back out of the trash here. Guess we're gonna probably want our keyway too in our bolt here. So yeah, this is B right here on the crankshaft, and it does say A right there. So, don't know. All right, so now we have the crank installed and lined up. I went ahead and put the timing chain stuff back on because although this is not a press fit like a regular motorcycle 4-wheeler crankshaft setup, right? So one on a motorcycle or 4-wheeler, one side slips in, one side's more of like a press fit, but this just slides in on both sides, right? And all these gears are perfectly in here, and I don't want to upset them. And the shift drum's in here, so I don't know. I guess what I'm getting to say is I don't want to, put this laying down and then put this one upside down, because then all these are going to fall off. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is exactly how I took it apart. I'm going to put the clutch stuff back on, and even though the timing chain is holding the crank from falling out this way, all the clutch stuff will do that as well. And then basically we'll be able to just leave this case half like that, and then we'll take this and lay it down, because this gear can't come off without this crank coming out. So that is my plan. It probably will not be pretty on camera. Okay, so this should just slide right back on like I had it 5 minutes ago. There we go. Now this bolt I know was outside, because it's dirty. Let's see, I think we only had 2 different size bolts here. Oh, no, wait, yes. Maybe not, maybe 3. All right, so I did this. I already put this together. This will be my 3rd time. First time, it all went to hell. Second time, I did it without the gasket maker to make sure that it'll go in like this, and it will. So, here we go. It is a little tricky, but I did it once successfully. Should wiggle on a little bit better now. Okay. Let's see what happens here. All right, I got these really long case bolts here. I'm just gonna throw this in just to help make sure everything's lined up here. These are not to this. This is, you know, from something else. I just want to make sure that this is all lined up. It looks like it, right? There we go. Whew. Just getting a little worried. All right, now we can start throwing case bolts in. All right, so I don't know if it made it in the video at all, but there's this washer. I thought it was one washer, but there's these 2 washers, and when I had split the cases, these washers, they freaking got wedged. They got pulled through this seal here. Now, I'm not sure if this seal is damaged. I don't think it is. It doesn't look ripped. It does look a little different on the top there. But I cleaned it off real good so it's nice and dry. Hopefully it doesn't leak. We might have to get a new seal, but it should be pretty easy if that's the case. But I guess these go here. Some sort of shim right here for the clutch. So that's where that is. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this thing back in the machine, because with the clutches and the top end and everything else, this thing is super heavy. I put the piston on, I checked the ring gap and everything. I just didn't want to deal with that on camera, because we all want to see this thing run, right? And you've seen me build enough engines, and it's all pretty much the same. So, one thing is this wrist pin was a little too long, so it wasn't allowing me to get these circlips in. And these circlips are really freaking hard to get in there. But it's in now. So we got the cylinder here, gaskets, and I think I will put the cylinder on now. That way, I don't have to screw with freaking pinching these rings when it's in the frame. All right, now get ready to be triggered, because for the lube, we're gonna use this red grease here. And for some reason, everyone in the comments and on TikTok gets so bent out of shape about the grease. And I freaking put so many motors together with grease. I mean, it's oil. It's not like it's freaking, it's just thicker oil. And really, kind of when I mix it with that fluid film, it's kind of the exact same consistency as you know, that red assembly lube. So I don't know what everyone's deal is, other than they can't think outside the box and think for themselves. They just have only ever seen it done one way. So whatever. We do want to make sure our rings are staggered. There went the freaking timing chain. Ah. It's no big deal. I freaking fish it out. See, everyone seems to lose their shit about this little bit of grease at the top, which I will wipe off before we freaking throw it all back together. Matter of fact, I guess I can do it now. All right, of course, my damn phone ran out of storage when I was putting the engine in. My freaking luck. I should put these little tiny, I don't even know what these even do. They kind of go down there, right there, next to that big bolt. So let me put these in real quick. Okay, I ran out of storage on the damn phone. Camera here, and we didn't get me putting the engine in, of course. Great. So looks like we have, I don't know, some idler gears here. I think this is the oil pump. Some gears here we need to put in, flywheel. Looks like we have starter gear. Yeah, this is a shifter. Got everything over here in these bins. So I guess we gotta start figuring this puzzle piece out. On my, why does it feel like it only goes on here like this? Definitely, oh yeah, there we go. Okay, well I do think this gear goes here, maybe like that. Feels like there should be some damn washer shims on there, but maybe not. Okay, so I just went and looked at the video of me taking it apart. I tightened up these right here and Loctited them. Now this washer goes here, and then this pin goes here, like this, like that. And this guy right here, this just goes on this shaft right here. It's a little idler drive gear. It does go on kind of funny. Why did it just do that? That was crazy. Actually, that drives off the crankshaft up there. And then this one gets this big washer, like that. And then this gear goes on, this notch right here lines up on this guy. Just like that. And then we have two little teeny weeny circlips. It appears they're the same size circlips. One goes on this shaft, one goes on this shaft. I also checked this starter guy right here on my video. There was no shim washers. So all we gotta do is put these little clips back on. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, there we go. Muchos buenos. Now we have this stupid piece. If you guys remember this kind of goes on here like this. This was screwing me up when I was trying to pull the flywheel. Why is that piece like that, bro? Why is it so... Why doesn't it just... There we go. I am going to throw some Loctite on here just to keep it from backing off. You never know. Okay. And this is going to get magnet. It's going to suck it in. So hopefully we don't frick up our gasket here either. Okay, I've got a couple wires hooked up, and I went and got a fresh oil filter. It goes behind here, and this is the part number. They had it at Advanced Auto Parts. So next thing we need to do is get the head on, and that's over here. Here's the cylinder head. I've already kind of scraped off the, gasket stuff, and I don't think this thing had a, head gasket problem or anything, but I have my servicing stone here, and we're just gonna run across, make sure this head is nice and flat, so our new head gasket can seal properly. All right, good thing we're doing this. Got a couple low spots, nothing super crazy I don't think. Should seal up pretty good. Okay, so I'm trying to heat up the cylinder here to get that little pin out. That one was a bitch to get out. And these are brand new vice grips. And look, it freaking just rounded the teeth on the front of that. Which, these are probably junk brand anyways these days. But they're brand new. So I'm gonna grab this other one out here in a second, let this one heat up. Maybe not. There's no need for them damn things to be that freaking tight in there. Okay, I give up on this stupid piece of shit. We're only getting one centering dowel, and we're just gonna rely on the bolts to center everything up. It'll be good enough, I promise. All right, I got our timing chain guide in right there, and one centering dowel. So I guess let's see how this goes. Looks like it goes like this. And of course, I'm holding the camera, which makes everything difficult. Okay, here comes our cylinder head. Hopefully I can do this. Okay, all right, so luckily these are all the same length. I put some lube on the threads and on the head of the bolt there on the back side. Now two of them go inside the engine. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They're all the same length, but obviously the shinier ones are going to go inside the engine. And then there's two over here that will go in, and they're the dirtier ones because they're outside of the engine, outside of the whatever it's called, cylinder head valve cover. Okay, so I was able to get this off when I took it apart without taking this gear off. Simply the timing chain tensioner was enough to get it off. So there's some lines right here, there's a line right there, and a line right there. So as long as we line that up parallel, because the engine is at top dead center hopefully still. Guess I'll have to double check here in a second. Well, I had it on there. Yeah, there we go. We might be one tooth off. All right, there we go. Hopefully we just... Yeah, I think when we put that chain tensioner in, that should tighten everything up. Straight, I'm gonna go look at the top dead center mark, which I don't even know if you're gonna be able to see it. That's the mark right there. It's a little to the side, but I don't think it should matter. I'm gonna double check it and I'll let you know. All right, next we need to put on the throttle body here. Why do these look like they're in the way? No, actually it goes this way. You can tell there's this little tab right here. Lines up with the boot. We can take this bolt out. I already put some grease on the O-ring here for the injector, and that's just gonna pop right in like that. Yep, here's the bolt. There we go. All right, so the video is getting pretty long here, and I went ahead and finished up everything. I got the four-wheeler all back together. Now, as you can tell, this is a voiceover. I have had several technical setbacks in this video, but you can see here I use these little O-rings or C-rings, what are they called, circlips, to hold that in because they were missing the correct clip previously. So I got everything hooked up here, and unfortunately for the first start we are not going to be able to hear it, but you'll be able to see all the coolant burning off the exhaust from when I had spilled it previously. Alright, who knows what I'm talking about here? I think what I'm talking about is double making sure it's in neutral, because you can see here I don't have the clutch hooked up, I don't have the shifter hooked up, and it is in neutral. And I'll go ahead and tell you that it fires up on like the second or third crank, you know, and it ran great. So hopefully in the next clip here we will see it running. Here's what I was talking about. It looks like some oil and coolant is burning off of the exhaust. Nothing crazy. It's always pretty typical. This one smoked a little bit more than most. And I'm actually looking at the video here now. And we did pick up audio at the very end. Great. I don't know if I had audio on this whole entire clip. Alright, I don't know if I got the that clip, if the audio's any good, but this thing's running smooth. Love it, man. Alright, let's see what happens when we start it back up here. Damn, brother! Baby cranks up! Idle sounds a little high. I don't even know how you turn down the idle on this thing. I don't know if you do or not. exhaust leak. Can't beat that. China. I love China. It seems to be running really good. Now, I do still have to put the drive shaft back in, and I did not do that because I found out I need to order a new boot for this. So this is kind of a pain in the ass to get to. I didn't want to put it back in and then, you know, have to take it all back apart because it is kind of a mission to get in there. But if you can hear, we are leaking out of this coolant tube right there. You see that water drop? So I guess I either need to move that, you know, that band clamp to a different spot, or I need to put a worm clamp on there. But yeah, man, I'm super excited. Let's see. Oh, come on now. Yeah, man. Idle's a little high, I think, but maybe that's just the way it idles. I mean, you can see right there, there's a set screw with a jam nut. You can see there's plenty of slack in the cable right there. But for now, you know, we just need to ride it first. Now, so I think I'm gonna leave it right here in this video. We got it running. I'm sure the video is super long right now. I'm gonna try and shorten it up as much as I can. But pretty excited about this thing. We'll do a video very soon on getting this thing all back together and taking it for its first ride. I got another machine I got to work on for my buddy, and I got to record that too. So if you enjoyed watching me get this CFMOTO 400 all back up and running, be sure to subscribe because we're going to do another video on this thing. We got to fix this damn coolant leak right there. Yeah, we're going to tidy everything up and take this thing for its first spin. Now, you might even put some new tires on it. So appreciate you guys watching to the end. Hopefully this helped you out. Maybe it gives you the courage to go fix up your pile of shit or something. I don't know. All right, see you in the next video.
Real Jesse Peterson finds in the rough. Dirt bikes, quads, beat up stuff. Marketplace gamble odds are slim. I turn them over, profits grim. Rev that sound, Lux my friend. YouTube's rolling.